of Iran to keep boosting its nuclear program for the benefit of the civilian population in Iran, and also is taking place at a moment in which the United States and Iran were already having talks regarding this issue, and this is an attempt that has hampered these negotiation talks that were trying to, through diplomatic means, reach an agreement already, and this is the conflict. This conflict in place amid this context. In this scenario, Iran has shown its intention to leave the nuclear non-proliferation treaty. Also, this could mean that, for example, this was released earlier on Monday night, that Iranian parliamentarians were preparing a bill that could push Tehran towards exiting the nuclear non-proliferation treaty. According to Iran's ambassador to the International Atomic Energy Agency, the country's decision to withdraw from the treaty of the non-proliferation nuclear weapons will depend on the future developments regarding Israel's acts of aggression on the Islamic Republic. Also, the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Israeli aggression is an unprecedented blow to diplomatic work, and we call on the European countries and the international community to see the reality as it is and condemn this aggression. Iran's legitimate defense against aggression will continue with force. We hold the Zionist entity and its supporters responsible for the consequences of any escalation in the war. Also, Israel launched this war against the Iranian people with the direct support and complicity of the United States. Iran also is marked at a context in which seen this before during the ongoing genocide against the people of Palestine as well. On Monday, which was the fourth day of since the escalation of hostilities burst out, the Israeli regime forces raided an apartment in Haifa where a foreign news crew was filming the skyline. Also, there was an attack on the Islamic Republic of Iran broadcasting building as well. Also, there have been so many reactions to this brutal aggression that was performed by Israel on the early hours of Friday, which was June the 13th, when the escalation of hostilities began after and following this attack. And there have been so many reactions. For example, the Foreign Minister of Iran assured that the aim of Israel's attack on Iran is to thwart the agreement between Tehran and Washington regarding the nuclear power plant. We are seeing, as we speak, we are seeing the skyline of Tel Aviv, which is under the attack, and also under the lights of the retaliatory missiles that were launched by Iran a few moments ago, to make it clear for the entire community and all the entire international community, but also to make Israel be sure that Iran is willing to defend itself, is willing to do it with an enormous capacity, military capacity, and also has no intention to damage or to create or to target civilians, not like Israel is doing at this current moment, targeting residential buildings. Iran is willing to destroy, to damage Israel's military capacity, Israel's military facilities, and as well intelligence facilities. Earlier today, The Mossad headquarters in Tel Aviv was targeted as well, leaving a devastating picture. Also, this has been repeated in several other sectors of Tel Aviv. Images that were also so common between the Palestinian people on the Gaza Strip, but now we are seeing it on the very capital of the Zionist regime, of the genocide regime of Benjamin Netanyahu. There are ongoing retaliatory actions that we are seeing at this moment, missiles impacting the capital of Israel in Tel Aviv as well. Everything indicates that the purpose of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's criminal attack on Iran, with the killing of hundreds of innocent civilians, including women and children specifically, is to sabotage an agreement between Iran and the United States, which were on the right path to achieve, and this was mentioned by Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi earlier on Monday. This is taking another U.S. president, this criminal war is taking another U.S. president and more U.S. taxpayers for complete fools. This is what the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi mentioned after talking to his official account on the platform X earlier on Monday. Also, in turn, the Iranian Foreign Minister added that every country's prime minister is wanted, a wanted war criminal. He's referring to Netanyahu, and also a swindler who has successfully tricked U.S. presidents into fighting his wars for nearly 3 decades. Let's recall that earlier on 1995, Benjamin Netanyahu mentioned during a meeting with high officials of the United States back then that Iraq should be targeted by U.S. military, and so it happened. Also, he's been calling for decades, and he's been obsessed for decades with Iran's capacity to build or to enrich its uranium, and also in prompting its nuclear capacity. And he has been obsessed with this idea of attacking Iran for decades, and now it's fulfilling that thirst with the complicity of the very own United States, in a context in which U.S. citizens have no interest in this war because they have already many crises, multidimensional crises happening on the very inside of the basis of the society of the United States, which also is impacting, it's attacking one of the main powerful working force of the country, which are the migrant community inside the United States. At this moment, there have been over 10 days of protest inside the United States, with a huge movement spreading throughout the country against the anti-immigrant policies of President U.S. Donald Trump. And in this context, Trump is also inciting this war, and also hasn't made a decision yet regarding if the United States is going to join this battleground that he has been the one and main supporter and promoter of. So at this moment, Iranian missiles can be seen in the sky over central occupied Palestine as well. Also, missiles have hit as well the capital of Israel in Tel Aviv. Israeli defense missiles also fell in Tel Aviv after failing to intercept an Iranian rocket as well. Iranian missiles are also falling and also can be seen above occupied Palestine. We are transmitting the direct Iranian missile hit in Tel Aviv at this hour. Let's recall that this has been repudiated by the whole international community, but especially by all the countries that form the Middle East, and also Arab and Islamic countries as well. A joint Arab-Islamic foreign minister's statement said the following, and I quote, Israeli attacks constitute a flagrant violation of international law and the United Nations Charter. We call for an immediate cessation of hostilities and respect for the sovereignty of states. We reaffirm the need to prevent any attack on Iranian nuclear facilities under international supervision. We insist that dialogue and diplomacy are the only way to resolve the crisis in the region. Also, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has been strong on his determination to show the world that he has no fear, that he has the support of the Iranian people, that Iran is going to be defending itself from all the threats that poses Netanyahu's regime for Iran, but also for the entire Middle East region and beyond. Also, the President of Iran, Masoud Pezeshkian, warned that if the U.S. government does not rein in the savage Zionist regime, the Islamic Republic will have to show more painful responses. This was mentioned earlier on Monday during a telephone conversation with the Sultan of Oman on Monday. President Pezeshkian cautioned against the consequences of the Israeli regime's acts of adventurism in the region. Also, Iran warned today that if the U.S. is brave enough to intercede, to be part of this conflict directly, Iran is going to target several military spots inside the U.S. and also in military occupation zones throughout the region. This is a very complex scenario for the world to witness. The whole world is watching with concern what is